Now, originally, I've been planning to do this video for a while, and the subject was, why are there no two-seater stroke convertible milk floats? Following on from my all Chinese milk floats are ugly video, I thought it would be the perfect time to do it, because I've been studying the market for years, and there's none. You know, there's the almost unicorn-like Tesla Roadster that just doesn't ever seem to exist. And apart from that, no two-seaters, no sports cars, no convertibles, no nothing, because everything is just dull and boring shit. So I thought, that's a brilliant subject. Why are there none? So I thought before I do that, I'd best check. And it's just as well I did, because I found one. Only one, but I have found one. And this is where it gets really, really bad, because I quite liked it. I know, I've been wrestling with my conscience all weekend over this. I've had to drink a hell of a lot of lager to get rid of the pain. But let's see what you think. Because while searching the world of cars for two-seater stroke or convertible milk floats, I came across this. Here you go. Have a look. I'm just going to show you the car first. There's the car. Now, that's a good-looking thing. It certainly ain't ugly. I mean, it might not be to everyone's taste, but as milk floats go, and granted, the bar's set quite low here, but nevertheless, that is a good-looking car. It's got bit spidery, bit 916 Alpha about it. It's got bit BMW Z series about it. It's got a bit of this, it's got a bit of that, but I quite like the look of it. I quite like the look of it. The interior looks a bit shit because it's Chinese, because it's an MG. You know, MG that used to make rusting sports cars that were brilliant fun to drive when they worked. They just didn't work very much, or they disintegrated on your driveway and needed 6 weeks of welding done on them. And then got bought by the label got bought by the Chinese after Rover had ruined it. And now makes the MG4 and the MG5 and boring generic SUV milk float, but to the cheap end of the market. You know, you can pick these things up for less than 20 grand now, and you pick up second-hand ones for 10. And to be honest, for the money you pay, right? And there's a video, you can go back and watch it. I've done a video on the MG4. I had the extended range one, and the extended range was extended. It was doing 230, 240 to a charge, and it weren't a bad thing to drive. Yeah, it was cheap, it was cheerful, but if that's what you want, it was all right. However, this is a different kettle of fish. Glasses on. Because this is the MG Cyberster. Again, I refer you to my previous video where I said the Chinese couldn't come up with decent names for cars. Well, they haven't let you down this time, have they? The Cyberster. Fucking hell, man. I mean, we're in Shermanator territory here, aren't we? That's shocking. Anyway, don't let that put you off. 0 to 60, 3.25 seconds. Top speed, 125. I know that's not much of a top speed, but let's face it, who does 125 mile an hour more than once in their life? Unless you're me and you fancy walking everywhere for 6 months or needing taxis. No one does it. You might get away with it on a track day. Can't see this thing being allowed anywhere near a track day. 496 brake horsepower now. It's got a bit of grunt. It's got a bit of grunt. So I sat there and stared at it for a while and thought, is my life over? I've found a milk float that I quite like the look of. I'd quite like to drive. And it's a two-seater convertible. And no self-respecting man in his 50s with a bald head who occasionally has to wear reading glasses would turn down the offer of a two-seater convertible because it makes you feel young again. So I thought, where do I go with this? This is a nightmare. I'm going to have to go and drive one. Nearest place is Bristol. I thought, I'm bound to be going that way sooner or later. I'll pop in and have a look. And then, because for some reason, up until that point, I hadn't noticed. So, see if you can notice from this photo what's wrong with this car now. Now, did you see it? Because I didn't see it the first time. And it was only when I looked at it the second time and I thought, that's what's wrong with it. In case you haven't noticed, it's the price. 59 grand. 59. Nearly 60 grand for a Chinese milk float. Now, I don't give a shit how good it is. And let's be honest, we're all vain about the badge. Let's not pretend we're not vain about the badge. We're vain about the badge. It's why nobody drives a Dacia Duster or a bloody Skoda Yeti. No, not the Skoda Yeti. Poor example. You know what I mean? Badge snobbery exists. And badge snobbery certainly exists when you're paying 60 grand for a sports car. 60 grand. So, at that point, unless it's the drive of your life, which bearing in mind it's restricted to 125 mile an hour, 0 to 60 is only 3.25. Fucking Teslas will do that. So it's not breaking any records there in the performance-wise. It might be a good drive, but it will still have the MG badge on the front. It'll still have an MG badge on the front, on the back. And when you get in it, you are sat in an MG. You are not sat in a luxury car. That is guaranteed. Then I thought, hang on a minute. If I was going to go out and spend 60 grand on a two-seater sports car, what could I get for my money? Brace yourselves. This is quite phenomenal. I thought I won't go too greedy to start off with. I wonder, can I get an Audi R8? The answer is, yeah, shitloads of them. That's a good start. The Audi R8 is already better than that MG in every possible way, shape and form. No question whatsoever. I don't need to drive one to know that. The Audi R8 is already winning. And I thought, well, what else can you get? Let's go to the Germans first. BMW. Take your pick. You can have a Z4. There's a Z1 for 60 grand. Z1, the one with the doors went, and then you just fell out of it. Never liked them. Thought they were too heavy. They are a collector's item. They're very quirky. But what you can get for 60 grand is the BMW M4 Competition Special soft top. Now that 22 plate, barely run in. That is a piece of kit. An absolute piece of kit. And you can get that for the same money as a Chinese milk float. And then I thought, well, I wonder what else is out there for this money. Wow. Literally, you're in supercar territory. This is where we are. I could not believe that you can get these cars for 60 grand, but you can. They're all here. Maserati Grand Cabrio. Granted, again, a bit of a unique one. Not many of these about. Lovely thing. It's a Maserati. It's Italian. You know that lever's going to be strokeable. Oh, yes. It's going to be some nap on that lever inside. And you know it's going to throb and growl at you as soon as you start up. Fucking come on. And you know it's going to break down. But, nevertheless, you could have a Maserati. Don't set your sights too low. We ain't even scratched the surface here. Because next up, Aston Martin. DB9 or Vantage. Either for 60 grand with full service histories and everything. You could have a beautiful, British, wonderful V8 sports car. with a Ford Mondeo clock, but we'll move on from that. Or a Chinese milk float. Again. But I know what you're thinking. Town, it's not stylish enough for me. What else can I get for me 60 grand? How about a Gallardo? Yes! A Gallardo! A Lamborghini! For the same money as the Chinese milk float. At this point, if you're still buying that fucking milk float, you just as well go to Dignitas. Just drive that milk float to Switzerland. It's going to take you a week by the time you charge up. And then you might have come to your senses. If not, straight into Dignitas and just hand over the keys and go, do it. Just do it now, because quite frankly, I shouldn't be on this bloody planet. But if you turn down the Gallardo and you think, it's a bit impractical for me, I can't get my golf clubs in the back, I'd rather have something with a bit more. Oh, what about Ferrari 360? In red, there it is, ready to go, Ferrari 360. Or the Chinese milk float. I mean, and I honestly thought it couldn't get no better than the Ferrari. I mean, you got an Aston, a Lambo, and a Ferrari there, 3 in a row. And you think, Town, you haven't got nothing else apart from that. Now, I can't believe, there must be something wrong with this car. Either that or the bloke selling it is desperate. But either way, right now, on Auto Trader, for 60 grand, the same money as a Chinese milk float, you can have a McLaren MP412C. A McLaren. Oh yes, 60 grand. Milk float money. Look at it. So, I mean, I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars there. Granted, a couple of them we won't class as supercars. But certainly the Gallardo 360, not so much now because it's been superseded. But the MP412C, come on! Oh no, I think I'll have the MG because I think the reliable... No! Dignitas with you! Get to Switzerland now! If you are taking the MG over the McLaren, life is not for you. It's just not. Cars aren't for you. Dignitas is for you. That's why it's there. Just go! Go now! What are you thinking? Oh, yes, but do you see the MG would offer a cheaper insurance? No one gives a fuck about insurance. When we're talking about these cars, you're not talking about insurance. I had a woman once ring me up and say, I see you've got a Range Rover for sale. I said, yes, I have. She said, what's the tax and insurance on it? I said, this car ain't for you, and put the phone down. No point having that discussion. If you're buying a fucking Range Rover, you're not worried about tax, you're not worried about insurance, and you're not worried about MPG, because you ain't getting any of those things. You're getting screwed in the ass on all three. And the same goes for every single car I've read out here. They'll be in the absolute top tax bracket. You're going to be paying £700 a year in road tax. You're going to be getting 12 to the gallon. Well, actually, you ain't even going to get 12 to the gallon, because these things need to be driven properly. So you're going to get about... my old 645... I think I once averaged 4.5 miles per gallon. That's being driven properly. Nobody cares. Just get out there and enjoy it and make noise and screech round corners and enjoy it. Or you could have a Chinese milk float. I think this is probably the most conclusive of any video I've ever done. That anyone who still says, I quite like the Chinese milk float. As I said, it's not for you. It's just, life is not for you. So there you have it. I started off wanting to prove that there were no sexy 2-seat cabriolet convertible milk floats for sale in Britain. I found out there is one. And then I've given you 10 reasons not to buy it. Well, I've given you a lot more than that. But 10... Gallardo. MP412C, 360, DB9, Vantage, M4, R8. I mean, take your pick. Have any of them. But don't have the milk float, for fuck's sake. Future my arse.